Hello and welcome to the Business Box YouTube channel. If you enjoyed today's video, please leave a like, subscribe and leave a comment down below on what you think. And as you've seen by the title today, we are looking at financial statistics and more specifically an introduction to statistics. So we're going to be looking at a distribution, some summary measures, and how we can measure variability. We're going to be looking at the standard deviation formula, breaking it down, annotating it, so you can really grasp an understanding and leave this video knowing more than when you came in. If that sounds good, again leave a like and let's get into the video. So an introduction. In today's video we'll cover some basic statistics, distributions, summaries, variance and standard deviation. So the normal distribution. The normal distribution is a probability distribution that is symmetric around the mean. Showing the data near the mean, distance from the mean is measured by the standard deviation. This data can be standardized with Z tables to give a Z score. However, we're not going to be discussing that in this video. That is a topic for the future video. But let's get a marker here and let's annotate on this diagram. Let's use red. So for the mean, it will be at the center here. Now the mean will be represented as X bar. That is our sample mean. Sample mean. Now forgive my drawings here and my writing, it's not the best. But our symbol for the mean of a sample data is X bar. Now, if we're dealing with a population, this symbol changes. It changes to the Greek letter mu, which is like a U but with a little tail at the end, like that. And that is our symbol for the population mean. So we have X bar for our sample. That is terrible there, but we have an X bar there for our sample and mu for our population. Okay. Now, +1 and -1 away from these, we will be looking at the standard deviation. Now we're going to dive into this a bit more deep in our next slides. But just to touch on it briefly, this is the symbol for standard deviation. It is the Greek letter sigma, which is basically like a 0 but with a little flick. So now you know what the normal distribution is and some letters we're going to be looking at and what those letters represent. Let's move on to summary measures on our next slide. So we have 4 summary measures and you will have seen these in secondary school and high school. We have the mean, which is calculated by the sum of x divided by n, where x represents the total value of all the terms summed together, and n is the number of values within a sample space, the sample space being all possible elements within a set. We have the median, which is the middle value of a data set, the mode, which is the most repeated term within a data set, and the range, which is the highest value subtracted the lowest value. So these are quite easy and we will have learnt these prior, but we will need them in statistics to summarize data sets. We have a 5-number summary and box plots. So 5-number summary is a good way of summarizing data. We have the median, which is in the middle. Again, let's break out the marker. In the middle we have our median value here, and this is in the middle of our data. We have the lower and upper quartiles, or the mid-high and the mid-low. Let's switch to colour here. So we have mid-low here and the mid-high. And then we have our maximum value and our minimum value. And within the lower quartile, or the mid-low, and the upper quartile, or mid-high, we have the interquartile range. Outside of the interquartile range, we have whiskers. Let's get rid of this. We have whiskers. And these whiskers are outside of the interquartile range and lead to the minimum value, which is the smallest value within the dataset, and the maximum value. So we're looking at 5 numbers here: the median, middle value, the midpoint between the median and the maximum, the midpoint between the median and the minimum, and then the smallest number and the largest. So very straightforward for a 5-number box plot summary. You will have also done these in GCSE. Standard deviation. So standard deviation is a very important formula in statistics as it measures variability on a distribution. Now it can look quite daunting with all different symbols, but we're going to break it down symbol by symbol. S equaling standard deviation. This here we know is the square root. Square root. I really need to get a pen here. The mouse is not working. Here we have the Greek letter sigma, which means sum. So what this is basically saying is we're looking for the sum of x, take away x bar squared, where x is representative of each value within a data set, and x bar, as we discussed earlier, you should know is the sample mean. So let's keep it very simple. Let's say we have a data set of 1, 2, and 3. We're looking for the sum of each value 1, 2, and 3 minus the mean x bar squared, and we are going to calculate that for each value, and then we are going to sum the total here, and we will sum the answer. And once we get that, we will divide by n minus 1, where n, as we remember, is the number of terms. So if we draw our data sequence again, it is 3, but we are doing minus 1 as it is a sample, so it would be divided by 2. 3 minus 1 is 2. And that is how you would calculate the standard deviation. So to recap over this, we are looking for the sum of each value minus the mean of the data squared. We'll sum all of it up and divide it by the number of terms within the sequence minus 1, and then we will square root our answer to get the standard deviation. If you're trying to calculate the variance, it is equal to the standard deviation without the square root. So we just get rid of the square root, and then we will have our variance. So I hope that's helped you learn a little bit more about statistics. As I say, just an introduction. The annotations I hope were bearable, and if you so wish, I can expand on statistics in future videos. We can discuss confidence intervals, variance, standard error, binomial distributions, and much more. So if that's something you would like to see, let me know in the comments. Leave a like down below to show that you like this video, and subscribe for future videos as well. But thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.